You have to really play the hand that you're dealt. And then you had a jury that was, from a certain persuasion. Would have been hard to do no matter what. But I did absolutely nothing wrong. I paid a legal expense. It's marked down as a legal expense. And they say that's a fraud. What am I going to call it? Did you ever see a ledger? Do you ever study accounting? If you pay a legal expense and you write it down as a legal expense, and then they indict you and they go to a grand jury.
That's former President Trump reacting to his guilty verdict in his New York criminal trial. Meantime, 8 Republican senators are rallying to his defense. They've signed a letter threatening to block every Biden judicial and political nominee and all major Democrat-led non-security legislation until November's election. The show of unity spearheaded by Utah's Mike Lee, Ohio's J.D. Vance, Missouri's Eric Schmidt, Alabama's Tommy Tuberville, Tennessee's Marsha Blackburn, Kansas' Roger Marshall, and Florida's Rick Scott and Marco Rubio also signed that letter. Senator Blackburn, who sits on the Senate Judiciary, Veterans Affairs, and Finance Committees, joins us now. Senator, what do you hope to accomplish by signing that letter?
John, what we will accomplish by this is a couple of things. And number one, making certain that they don't put more of these unqualified judicial nominees on the federal bench as judges. And likewise, other appointees that they are trying to get confirmed. And working across the aisle to build support from Democrats that are up for re-election about voting with us. Likewise, when it comes to funding, they're going to be pushing and trying to make a deal on a funding bill at the end of the year. And basically, we have said it's a no-go for any of these departments that have been weaponized, that are being used against conservatives, used against the American people. And the people are waking up to what they're doing with weaponizing the government, with using 2 tiers of justice, and they are ready for it to stop.
But does it give Democrats the opportunity to gain some headlines by saying, look, we want to pass legislation X or Y, but these 8 Republican senators won't go along?
I don't think that it gives them any way to move forward. And here's the reason why. What the American people have witnessed play out in court with President Donald Trump is pretty much the proverbial tipping point for them. And they have seen how government has been weaponized. They have seen how this administration has chosen to have 2 tiers of justice, and they are awakening to this. I'm hearing from people who are Democrats, independents, Republicans, libertarians, and they are saying it is time to put an end to what the Biden administration is doing.
The conviction of the former president seems to have been good for his fundraising. At least that's what his son told our Maria Bartiromo this morning. Listen.
So what have you seen in the way of money raising? I spoke with President Trump yesterday. He said it's nearly $200 million. That is astounding. Is that number correct? Where does that number come from?
As I was leaving my house about 37 seconds ago, I asked my wife, what are we up to now? And she said, just in terms of small dollar, we're well over $70 million. This is $21 donations, $43 donations, right? Small dollar donations. If you add the large dollar donations to it, you're over $200 million.
So this conviction, it's I suppose a bad news, good news situation in that regard for the former president.
Indeed, I would encourage everyone to go to donaldjtrump.com and get involved. November 5th is when the American people are going to be able to speak out against this weaponization of government. And indeed, people are showing up and backing the president. I'm on the ballot this year, and they're backing me at MarshaBlackburn.com. But, John, we are to be a country where we have equal access, equal treatment, equal justice. And what the American people have seen play out is not equal treatment. And they're looking at this and they're saying, I value my freedom. I value the opportunity for my children to live their version of the American dream. And these people are trying to take it away. So they're showing up and they're backing President Trump in record numbers. I've never seen so many people move this quickly when it comes to determining who they're going to support for president, for the U.S. Senate, for the U.S. House.
He was elected in 2016 in large part because he promised to build the wall. Now his successor, President Biden, is promising action this week to crack down on the situation at the border. What do you think about that?
John, you and I have talked so many times about this border issue. And what Joe Biden is trying to do is find ways to make illegal immigration legal. They've done an app. They have tried to get people flown into the country and given parole status. And now what Biden is saying, well, let's set a number and say, okay, we'll put the Border Patrol down here with the clicker. And when we hit 4,000 people, I might close that border. But if we hit 8,500 people in a day, I have to close the border. This is too little too late. The American people are not buying this. They are not securing the border. The fentanyl is flooding into the country. The American people are seeing this open border intentional policy play out in their communities with drugs, with deaths, with poisoning from fentanyl, with gangs, with crime related to those gangs, with human trafficking, sex trafficking. Yeah. Every town's a border town. Every state's a border state. And finally, the Democrats are realizing, oh, people really want the border secured first and foremost.
It is the top of mind concern for most Americans, according to the polls. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.